Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is a review of 2007's The Hitcher.
Or The Bitcher in today's current political climate.
This is a Patreon review, guys. For those of you who don't know, we have a tier on our Patreons where we do especial reviews for them. So check that out in the link down below if you guys want to. This one's for our friend Carrie Crownless. She's a sweetheart. She's a wonderful human being.
God love you, Carrie.
Absolutely.
I love you as well. Alright, so yeah, the first thing about The Hitcher is I feel like it's an accumulated rage from Sean Bean not being able to survive any other movie. If you said, what do you think about The Hitcher 2007 remake? Sean Bean's a badass. Like, that's it. Like, the first, like, listen, he looks like a combination of the Terminator and like Mad Max Fury Road. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch. Especially at the end with the cops. God damn, that music comes on.
That Fuck You Like an Animal comes on, and like I have my problems with this
Who's
movie.
that?
9 Inch Nails.
Oh, is that who that is?
I want to fuck you like a... That one scene, man.
God, it's so good.
He's in that badass car, and there's like 4 cop cars, and he just comes, and all of a sudden that beat drops like dum 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 dum, and that scene is fucking raging, man. That scene's awesome.
He looked cool as hell.
Yeah,
like, that was really cool.
That song as the soundtrack for it was absolutely perfect. But no, dude, Sean Bean, you're right. He is the movie. He's the best part of the movie, top notch all the way through. Badass villain. He did a great job replacing Rutger Hauer, and it's a hard person to replace when you're doing that. But he looked good. He looked clean. He was handsome and rugged as fuck, dude. He looks like James Bond, which is weird because I know he was the bad guy in GoldenEye, but he could have been James Bond at that point in his career.
He looks like a more badass version of Obi-Wan Kenobi that you wanted to see. Ewan McGregor was great, but he looks like he could be like a badass Obi-Wan.
For England, James.
Well, hello there. I'll kill you now.
For me! In the mid-2000s, they remade all these movies. They did Jason, they did Nightmare on Elm Street, they did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they did Amityville Horror, and the Hitcher.
They sound like fucking Howie Mandel from the Monster, a Little Monster. He's like, got him, got him, got him.
It was a great time. Actually, people were really pissed about it at the time, though. Like, everyone like, another remake, another remake, another remake. But actually, for the most part, looking back on most of those, they were actually pretty good.
They did pretty good with some of them. Like Jason, they did good.
Yeah.
This one... Nightmare on Elm Street, no.
It's toward the lower. This one's toward the lower end of them, but it does have the exact same. They almost had like a playbook for all these movies. You got to have an extremely hot chick, which what was the girl's name?
Sophia Bush.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to put some barbecue sauce on
I want to go to your temple house.
she was really good in the movie.
One Tree Hill fam, what up?
That's how you do her name, you fuck.
No, I didn't know. I had to look it up. I was like, God, she's hot. What's she been in?
I did too.
She was in. Also, she was in John Tucker Must Die.
Yeah, which
did she make out with a girl in that?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out, Jim. I will find out. But no,
Lotion.
And then you got the boyfriend who is like, he was okay. I mean, but there's no way in God's green rose or
Rose Garden.
There's the Rose Garden. There's no way in God's green earth that he would have gotten her in real life. I feel like even back then, dude. I love his look. He looked like he was the lead singer of Finch, Nate Barkalow. He had that puffy beard on the end of his chin, and then he had the long hair, and he had like, dude. We got out of the car to see his pants. He was wearing those boot cut.
Yeah,
I haven't seen boot cut jeans in ages, man.
I wear them still. I like boot
but
cut
no
jeans.
Boots. You got
you have to wear the boots with him. But yeah, the thing about him, he looked like Jared Padalecki's not successful younger brother that hung out with fucking 3 Days Grace. But you know, he was all right. He wasn't bad. He was just generic.
Yeah, he looked like a roadie for 3 Days Grace. I think that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna fucking die early though. Like I was like, that guy's totally dead. Like you can just look at somebody and he had like Billy Goat beard hair. Like, you know, like some guys that can't, it grows in patches and shit and it's just not working. And I was like, he's gonna die early. Like that motherfucker sings sonnets to his girl at midnight and he sings like shit like, I love the All-American Rejects, but that literally is probably what he sings to her in the middle of the night.
That's all
you got it. Yeah, move along. By the way, the very beginning of this movie with the All-American Rejects playing Move Along, I was like, is this a movie that's supposed to be a horror movie or is this literally an All-American Rejects music video?
It felt like
from 2000.
It felt like Urban Legends, which that's another bullet point of these mid-2000s remakes because they've got, like I said, they've got the really hot chick, they've got these movies had extra meanness to them, dude. And again, this was back in the day when the DVD would always be uncut and unrated. Hills Have Eyes, all that shit.
I always bought that shit too.
Yeah, dude. It seems like horror movies, they wanted to be really mean at this time. And there's some scenes in this where they do that, where Sean Bean's character does some really fucked up and he's extra over the top mean. Some of the stuff that you kind of miss today, like they wouldn't be that mean. Like, dude, he is a fucking... Dude, he's an asshole.
And he's also, like, and he's pure psychotic.
Yeah.
Like, when she's like, why do you do this? He's like, I don't know. I like his answer. She's like, what do you want? He's like, I don't know. I just felt like fucking doing it.
To die. But they had.
I wish he had been like, why do you ask why when it's so much better to say how?
One of the main bullet points of these is they got a music video director to do that. If you look at the guy who did it, he's only done a couple movies.
Feels like it.
He's done a fuck ton of music videos. Same thing with Samuel Bayer, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know what playbook these guys have, but I want to find it because like they all had so many of the same aspects, just like this one did. The boyfriend's death was probably the highlight.
It's the Diet Coke playbook of Rob Zombie.
Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder was like the producer on all of them. He's like, I'll literally fuck your face!
The movie itself, it's not bad in certain scenes, but and they do, you know, kick it with the gas all the way to the finish line too, and then they stop. And then it goes into some bullshit, mediocre, kind of like boring back and forth, One Tree Hill kind of situation, and then you're like, I'm kind of taken out of it because I just want to see Sean Bean fuck up some more shit.
Yeah.
And like some of the best scenes in the movie for me is not just the toward the ending scene with the cop chase, that was fucking great, but also just sitting in the car when he's in the car and he's like, I'm not married, or he's like when he's like, how long you been fucking your girl?
Yeah.
And it's like weird shit like that. He's like, how long you been fucking your wife? Haha. He's like, I'm not married. I'm like, oh, like it was weird.
That was a great line too. He's like, what's up with the wedding ring? He's like, help strangers feel more comfortable. I was like, you mean motherfucker. And then when he broke the phone, and to his credit, the boyfriend was a good actor in that scene. He started like tear up. He's like, dude, what are you doing?
No, dude, it's like literally, I don't know if he was in shock or he just didn't care about that phone, but he looked over and watched him do it. And, and the boyfriend's face was like, like he didn't. If somebody's trying to break my phone, I'm not gonna be like, I'm just gonna let you do it. Or he was just in so shocked that he was doing it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like if you walked in on someone like that was drunk and they're taking a shit on the kitchen floor. Like you're like, like you don't know what to do.
Hooker turn.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. You're talking about dumbass cops. I've never seen. Literally, I've seen dumber cops, but this one almost takes the cake. These are the stupidest fucking New Mexico cops I've ever seen. That's
why, because they finally get to a roadside place and she calls the cops. She goes and hides in the bathroom and the cops show up. They literally don't ask a single question. They're like, get in the car. Yeah. It was you who killed everyone. I know it.
And by the way, that waitress was hot too.
Yeah.
Jesus
so they
Christ.
know what they're doing. It's clear that they're being hunted by this guy and that this guy's murdered all those people, but they just assume, hey, you're the first person I've seen, so register to vote. But the last thing I'll say about the mid-2000s things that it does is with the death scenes. The death scenes are really good. They're really brutal. They're really mean. The boyfriend death, again, I feel like most of us have seen this at this point. When he ties him up in that truck, he ties him up to 2 trucks and rips him in half. That scene was gnarls fucking barking.
I know, man. It was good.
That was one of the best horror death scenes probably from.
Would have been funny if the Ford commercial come on like a rock.
Rip your shit in half.
I would have been like, yep, that fits. I'd seen the original Hitcher, but if you had never seen the movie before ever, if you had never had any inkling about it, did you think, or would you think that he was trying to set him up for the murders and then like kind of go on his merry way?
I don't know. I just thought he was kind of an anarchist. I don't think he really gave a fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Because I think he was even surprised that the cops were so fucking stupid. But I mean, when you got 3 cop cars and all their guns and all their weapons, and they let one dude in a fucking whatever kind of car that was just run them off the road and kill them all like
that was a badass
like
car.
The fucking Terminator. Dude, he'd be a good Kyle Reese, by the way.
He'd be a great Kyle Reese. He's too
back,
old now.
Yeah, back in the day though, but. Yeah, the cops were just fucking stupid, and they did have that one, the white-haired dude from Walking Tall.
I like him.
He's a good actor. I like him. He gets shitty roles a lot.
Every time I see that guy, and he's got like too white of teeth, and they like feel like he's got too many teeth in his head.
Yeah.
I always think of Angels in the Outfield, and he's like, I thought the practice started at 1. It does start at 1, and you're a jackass. He goes, no, I'm a pitcher.
Honestly, dude, I'll give the movie a 6. I'll give the movie a 6 because again, Sean Bean's badass. That one scene alone was a 10. That 9 Inch Nails scene was a 10.
That's so good, man. That should be on a fucking poster somewhere. And I'm talking about live action. That should just be coming towards you. If you like feeling like you don't want to get out of bed, holy shit, that scared me. I don't know what that was.
It's the Cocker Spaniel.
I thought it was Sean Bean saying stop talking about it. But yeah, that whole I'm gonna give the movie a 5.5, and the 5 points of that 5.5 is Sean Bean by himself.
Yeah,
like, that's how good he is in the movie. He carries the entire film.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, it's just a movie that didn't need a remake. I mean, it's one of the few movies that even if the remake's mildly entertaining, you go, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? You didn't really do anything new with it or anything like that. But I am glad we got to watch it. Thank you, Carrie Crownless, for picking it, because awesome. I've been wanting to go back and delve into all those. I just have a fascination with that era of
Maybe
horror.
we should do a top 10 mid-2000s horror movies.
Dude, you could do literally
yeah.
You could do a top 10 2000s horror remakes. There were so many remakes in that
they were fun.
section, man.
Hey, it was fun, it was quick, it was short, and you were out in and out, just like Sex for us. I mean, fun fun for us, not for so much for the others. But yeah, dude, there was quite a few, and I always had a good time going back and watching it. Like, you know, Darkness Falls Territory, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill. All those they weren't classics by any means or stretch of the imagination, but they're always going to have a special place in my heart and forever. Yeah. Like, you remember those movies. Like, you're just like, oh man, this was fun.
It was right in our wheelhouse of like going on dates and going to theaters to watch those movies as they were coming out. And it's like nobody ever expected them to be scary, but they did have a meanness and a cool cinematography to them, and they had their special little place in horror. I think they get overlooked a lot. But anyways,
it's like in the 80s when you were going to the horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, and how cool that would have been to be in that atmosphere or whatever. Yeah. This is like the Super Nintendo version of it. Like, it was just kind of, it's because you're still gonna, technically speaking, some of the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies back in the 80s when they were being released were as corny as some of the movies that came out in the 2000s, and people were like, oh yeah, they're fun, they're not gonna be scary, they're just gonna be fun. It's kind of the same way I feel about the 2000s when in the horror movies. So.
Yeah, we went through the Conjuring-ish phase with those kind of like the Insidiouses and all that. That was a thing, like the, I don't want to say paranormal, but kind of paranormal demon horror stuff like that. We're kind of in now the heightened cerebral horror with like the A24 films and stuff like that, and the Hereditaries. That's kind of where it is right now. And then I
kind of want to go back to the 2000s though.
But yeah, like that was a pretty cool era. And then before that, you had the Screams and all the Scream rip-off movies. It's fun to like watch the sections that horror.
Because you know what's crazy is that you think for me, like, I guess for you too, like you think like 2003, that was like 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Is that right? Yeah. 17 years ago.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I fucking hate math. But yeah, 17 years ago, and I think that was like 2 years ago. When I think to myself, like 2003 was like 2 years ago. You're fucking on crack. And they're like, dude, that was 17 years ago, bro. I'm almost 18. I was born then. I'm like, what? You are a liar. But yeah, dude, that was such a fun time though, and it's so crazy that much time has passed. But I think that we're at the point now, like literally you can make a movie set in 2002, and I want to have like an old school early mid 2000s horror movie come out and then have like Steal My Sunshine as the background and just really put you back in there, or come my lady, come my lady. Like, and you know it's gonna be like fucking stupid. You know it's not gonna be the most scary movie you've ever seen, but if they came out with that now, dude, that would be like awesome. It'd be nostalgic.
Kind of new metal horror, man. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. And the soundtracks were great too. But yeah, Carrie Crowns, thank you so much for picking this. Awesome. Excellent choice. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn lame opinion. Okay? I want to die.
I want to break free.